Hey everybody, today is April 15th, 2021, and you're listening to the Luckin Fosers podcast. My name is Stuart, and I'm joined by my co-host Joseph.
Hey.
All right, awesome. So, one thing I wanted to mention, based off of the last podcast, was the results of March Madness. So March Madness is over now, and Gonzaga lost in the finals against Beltam. I don't think that's correct. That is definitely not correct. Let me just bring that up really quick.
Sure. So we watched the final day of March Madness. It was just that game versus the last two teams. And it was, I think, the
Baylor.
Baylor.
Yeah.
So Baylor beat Gonzaga, whatever they're called.
Bulldogs, I think.
Bulldogs. They pretty, I would say, what's the word I'm looking for here, Stuart?
Handily. They beat them handily.
It wasn't really a close game. I didn't watch, actually, now that I remember, because I think I was playing Counter-Strike at the time.
Okay, I think that's true because I remember talking to you at the time, actually, and I was getting live updates from our friend and looking on the internet.
Yeah.
And he was disappointed because he was rooting for Gonzaga because they would have made history. I think they did make history, though, because they were undefeated all the way up until that point.
Yeah.
So I think they already did make history, but they would have made even bigger history if they won.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were playing Counter-Strike with our friends at the time.
Yeah, it was it would have been a cool story if they had won. Probably turned into a movie someday. But unfortunately it did not happen. So I did have some things to talk about. I guess kind of getting one thing out of the way. I think we did have some things from the previous shows that we can bring up again, like with ESIC and stuff. But to start off, at least, there's an update with vaccines. So the Johnson & Johnson was pulled because of some blood clot issues. There's 6 cases of women having blood clots after up to 14 days after the vaccination. And it looks to be from AstraZeneca and from Johnson & Johnson. It looks like the CDC, according to the New York Times, just like pretty recent, like maybe an hour ago of the recording, they're going to put the pause on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for a week. So it's not forever, maybe. They need time and they're going to take a look at it. And then hopefully everything's okay, and they figure it out and release the Johnson & Johnson vaccine again, because the problem is, I mean, not only is it good because it's one shot, right? So you don't have to worry about taking another shot a month after your first one.
Right.
But also in Europe, actually, they were banked on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So if they're pausing and if there's, doubts about the vaccine and the side effects, that's going to be really bad for Europe, and it's going to, make the vaccination process a lot slower for everyone there.
Yeah, they were originally banking on like AstraZeneca, and then it got suspended.
Yeah.
And then they were like, and then around that time is when Johnson & Johnson was finalizing, and then they were like, oh, okay, we'll bank on this. So yeah, this would be bad for them. Whereas here we're able to get Pfizer and Moderna.
Yeah.
But like you said, they are 2 doses, and it's kind of, I mean, this is a very, like, it is what it is. But you basically get the shot, your first dose, then you have to wait 3 or 4 weeks, and then you get the second dose, and then you wait another 3 or 4 weeks, and then you're okay to go outside with your mask on and still only have 50% restaurant capacity or whatever. So it is still like a long process. It's like a 2-month process to get through. So yeah, I mean, the one shot sounds like it would be great, but I guess we're just not there yet. And actually, speaking of that, I have an appointment for the Pfizer vaccine tomorrow, in the afternoon, and I've read some articles, and so there's 2 ways you can get it. I guess is one is like through a drive-through where you stay in your car and you like raise your hand, like they like, I don't know how they tell you, but they're like, hey, which one of you in the car, if there's more than one person, is getting the vaccine? Then you like raise your hand or something, and then they come over to the window and they give you the vaccine. I've read some articles and they're saying that you're going to be sore in the arm that you get the vaccine.
Yeah.
And originally I was thinking, oh, well, then wouldn't I want to be sore in my non-dominant arm? But they were saying, the articles were like, no, you should get it in your dominant arm because you're going to be so sore that if you got it in your non-dominant arm, it would be like useless.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm right hand dominant. So I will get it tomorrow in my right arm, I guess. And my mom's going to drive me, and because you also have to wait 15 minutes after you get the dose,
I'll see you're
because
allergic.
yeah, you could be allergic. And then just in like an abundance of caution, my mom is going to drive me and then drive me home so that I'm not driving and might get allergic after or something. I don't know. It's
Okay.
probably not even a possibility, but
Yeah. Sure. So which one are you getting? The
I'm getting Pfizer.
Pfizer.
Yeah.
Uh,
Here it wasn't really a choice per se, because you take what you can get, and it's
Yeah.
literally like harder to get an appointment than it is to buy like a RTX 3090. Like, you have to constantly refresh the page. That's a graphics card, by the way, for people
Yeah.
that don't know, that is sold out everywhere. Anyway, you have to constantly refresh this page. And so when it says you have an appointment, you don't look at the time, you don't look at what vaccine it is, you don't look at what the date, you just accept. And so I got lucky. It is a location that is in the same city as me, and it's the Pfizer one, because some people got the Johnson & Johnson and then their appointments got canceled. And so then now they have to go back in this like crazy hard refresh every 10 seconds and try to just click the button as fast as possible. So yeah. So we'll see. So the next podcast I will have one shot, and I'll talk about my experience.
Yeah. So similar to you, I'm also getting my first dose before the next episode of this podcast, because I'm getting mine on Sunday. I don't know if it's going to be drive-through or going to it's going to be at CVS, some CVS near me. So I don't know how they're going to handle that. It is Moderna,
Okay.
so we'll see what happens. Um, it it's yeah, so it's going to be on Sunday. And then the next dose is going to be like 1 month and 2 days.
Yeah.
No, 1 month
Some
exactly. Actually, 1 month from
Okay.
the first dose. Uh, so yeah, I guess I will report back as well. I have been hearing that people do have like get side effects. I don't know if everyone gets side effects. I actually have not read into the side effects, although they make you like agree that you've read the side effects. I actually did not open the PDF and read it. Um, so I don't know, but I did. I've seen tweets of people who are like, "Oh, I don't feel well today," you know. But
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it's nothing awful, right? I mean, maybe a day of work or something at
Yeah.
best.
So mine's on a Friday, so I guess if I'm out for a day, it'll be that Saturday.
Yeah.
Um,
Unfortunately for
but
me, I could only do Sunday.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? I actually did want to mention. Yeah, everything here in Arizona. I live in Arizona, and it's just been booked as well. Like
Oh, okay.
even before the Johnson, like I actually wanted to get the Johnson shot because there was only one, right?
Yeah, I honestly I wanted to get that one too because it just
Yeah,
seems so much easier. And I
but
was also willing. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
no, no. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I was just gonna say that I was actually willing to drive up to 2 hours to get the Johnson and Johnson one
Okay,
because in my mind, that would mean
you would
because if I
save
didn't,
time.
I would
Actually,
actually still save time. I felt like.
yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, continue.
How many miles is 2 hours for you?
Well, I was thinking about this place called Chico,
Uh,
in California.
yeah, I've been there actually.
Yeah, and so let's see how far away that is from San Francisco.
So I don't think I've been willing. I would have like no traffic.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking San Francisco, like a lot of traffic. Like how much is 2 hours, right? Over here, that would be like what?
Oh,
Um,
Chico's actually 3 hours.
uh,
So never.
so
That
it'd
would
be
not
three
have been.
hours. That I mean, that
And
is
that
a
would have
lot
been
actually.
100. That would have been 170 miles. I would. Never mind.
Okay,
I wouldn't have done that.
I was
I
gonna
wouldn't
say
have. I wouldn't have done that.
a
That's
hundred
6 hours.
miles is like 2 hours. Yeah, yeah, that is
Yeah,
6 hours. That's
that's
crazy.
6 hours round trip. I'm not doing 6 hours.
Um, but I actually was looking like 20 miles out. You know,
Okay,
uh,
that's not bad.
30 miles out.
Oh,
You know,
okay,
I think I went to like 35 miles. And I'm like, no,
okay.
I'm not gonna go. I'm just gonna wait. Like, and then literally before they even pulled the Johnson, I was not able to find anything. I think since it's already been a couple days since they pulled it, I think maybe I just got lucky and I found an opening. But I've been literally on my phone, like looking, trying to
I
find
feel.
anything,
Yeah,
and I couldn't even find the Johnson. This is essentially
I
what I was
feel
saying.
like I got lucky too. I feel like that's just you just get lucky.
You know, I say that, and also to add to that, to my evidence of me getting lucky, I had booked an appointment. I think for well, I had started the process of booking an appointment. I don't remember when, but it was an earlier time. It was like Saturday maybe, and I was like, well, no, I actually want to check if I can find a place that's near because this
Mm.
one is like 5 miles. It's not bad, but I was, I was like, well, what if I just check to see if I can actually find it somewhere near? And I couldn't. It actually like, and now it said that opening that I was trying to get was filled.
Okay, yeah.
And so then I was like, okay. And so I refreshed again, and then it said, okay, there's this opening on Sunday at what time? I think I put 3:30. Sunday at 3:30, and I was like, okay, and that was the only thing open. So I
Yeah.
was like,
And so then
okay,
you were
okay,
like,
I'm gonna
yeah,
get this one.
yeah.
I'm not doing
Cut your
anything weird.
losses, just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where we are, I guess, as the world with the Johnson and Johnson vaccine being pulled, and then we'll see where we are, um, how we're feeling in the week after, and then a
Yeah.
month from now we'll take the second shot. So
So yeah, I think the second shot is the one that will have more side effects, right?
I'm not sure. Is it?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. Okay. Did you want to talk about your next subject?
Oh yeah, sure. So recently Twitch, it's twitch.tv, it's a live streaming platform. Um and I think it's safe to say it's the most popular live streaming platform.
I think
Maybe
that's
other
safe to say.
than like I forgot the Chinese one. I don't remember what it's called. That might be more popular technically. But over here in the States at least, the twitch.tv is the most popular live streaming platform. It's owned by Amazon. Um, but recently, they have banned 7.5 million accounts for being bots. So these bots would follow channels. They would hang out on the streams, and give streamers more viewers. They're known as Viewbots
Yeah.
because they artificially increase like the amount of viewers, amount of followers, maybe even subscribers um, to streamers. And so 7.5 million of these bots have been banned. So what that means is, and you can actually look at some channels, and a lot of top streamers, a lot of top live streamers have lost, thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of
Yeah.
followers because of this. And it's not because that live streamer was paying or was using these bots or was paying someone to use the bots for them, but the bots, they obfuscate their accounts by like following like popular streamers and stuff. So the target of the view bot is not really like known. It's not as easy to find out who they're view botting for, right? Because people pay for view bots like as a service to artificially boost their channels.
Oh, I did not. Okay, I didn't realize. I was kind of like, why is this even happening? Um, and I was just looking up some numbers. Tim the Tatman dropped 130,000 followers in the last 30 days. Tifu's down 100,000. Pokemon's down 180,000. And these are big numbers.
Yeah, that's a lot.
My favorite streamer, NMPLOL, has 3.1 million followers. I don't know. He probably doesn't have that many anymore, but he got like over a million in like one day. And it was very obvious that he was follow botted. And he reported it and nothing really happened until now. Um, but yeah, it makes it harder to track a lot of things. Like he never could understand like what it made it hard for him to like, I don't know, do his metrics or something.
Yeah. So it does. Yeah, it would mix up with that streamer's metrics. Um, and who knows? Maybe these people are also like typing in chats randomly. Like who knows what they're saying, and it could kind of mess with the streamer's like experience and even normal viewers' experience.
Yeah, engagement.
Yeah, engagement exactly. And how they detected these fake accounts was through what they said ongoing machine learning technology. So they're using AI to detect fake accounts, which is pretty cool. And I wonder if they're gonna talk more about that ever, because that would be cool to kind of read into, see how they're doing that, because it that kind of I think that's the future, because even Valve, the developer of Counter Strike Global Offensive, other games, and Steam, um, Valve their their anti cheat is being developed further using or it's called Vacnet, and I think it's something that they're adding to Vac, which is Valve anti cheat. That's their anti cheat software. Um, and it's AI, it's machine learning. Um,
Yeah,
and so they
and
use
it's
machine learning to detect cheaters.
yeah. I
Uh,
think it's like I think they even tweeted once that it's like 99.9%
yeah,
effective
yeah,
at determining if someone's a cheater, which is honestly better than a human, because if you put a demo in front of me and the guy could just be a god that day, he could just be playing off out of his mind,
yeah,
and as a human I'm like, I don't know, maybe he's just hitting all of those shots,
yeah.
right? But like, and yeah, an AI can do it better.
Yep, exactly. And I they said some crazy numbers of like how much servers they need for how much storage space they need for that. It is insane. I think they mentioned it like 4 years ago. So
Yeah.
who knows where they are now even. I would look it up if you want to read into it further. It's Vacnet is what it's called. Um, VAC net, and that's their AI anti cheat. I think currently they're in a phase where, like you mentioned, you were talking about demos, which demos are playback recordings of like a Counter Strike match, for example. Um, and I think they last mentioned that they were in a process of giving the AI hundreds of thousands of demos to learn from. So that's what it's doing right now behind the scenes.
Yeah, I remember like years ago they came out with Overwatch, I think is what they called it.
Yeah,
This is not to be confused with Overwatch, the Blizzard game.
yeah, no,
Um, so there was this thing called Overwatch. I mean, it still is a thing, but it was much bigger. Like I don't know, 4 years ago, I want to say, with Counter Strike, and you could get like experience points by watching a demo and then filling out a little form at the end of whether or not you thought they were cheating, if you thought that there wasn't enough evidence, or if you thought that they weren't cheating. Um, and they mentioned that they were using all of that to train the AI, I think. But it's definitely gone to the point where the AI is better than all of the Overwatch people now, I think. I did it a lot because you have to be in good standing with VAC, um, meaning that you don't cheat. And like, I don't cheat. And like, so they were like, oh, do you want to do this? Um, and so I was like, yeah, sure. Cause I wanted the experience points to be honest. Um, and yeah, I mean, sometimes it's super obvious, like they're just shooting through walls at spawn. But then other times it's like he could be just smurfing, maybe.
yeah. And news on the Overwatch system is that it was recently released into Dota 2 actually. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
so I think it was in the last month or two that Overwatch system was added into Dota 2.
I didn't realize that. I mean, of course, cheating would be a problem, but I just didn't realize that.
But also,
Yeah,
I mean, Overwatch is also used for like griefing, even smurfing. I think might be
yeah, you
added
can.
onto to
Yeah.
there because recently they also made smurfing a bannable offense in Dota 2.
Oh, okay.
So
Um, I know that it wasn't. I feel like none of this was as big a deal when Counter Strike still cost money.
yeah,
But then when it went free to play, everybody can just make an account, and so if you're a cheater, you don't really care as much if you get banned because you just spin up a new account.
yeah,
Um, that being said, it was definitely like the right move, I think, and I don't think the game's never been bigger. I don't think so. Um, but yeah, it's just interesting how when you go free to play, you get all these new problems that you
yeah.
have to deal with. Because Dota 2 is also free to play,
It
I
is.
believe. Yeah.
Uh, and I guess since we're on like Valve news, recently, or I say recently, literally today, Valve came out with updated guidelines. So previously, if you have ever had an account with a Valve or a Valve anti-cheat ban, so a VAC ban,
Yeah,
you
it would
can.
show on your account.
Well, yeah, it would. It always will show on your account, but you could not participate in Valve sponsored events. So
Oh, okay.
that's the RMRs, which a regional matchmaking uh results. It's they're events that add into your points as a team, and whoever has the most points are the people who get invited to the majors.
Okay, I see.
So that's how the majors work now. Um, but anyways, so if you had a VAC ban anytime in your life on any Steam account, you could not participate in Valve events. So the majors, the RMRs, the majors in Counter Strike are the absolute peak of achievement. for the Counter-Strike. So this meant that kids who cheated when they were kids, 12, 13, even 16, could never, ever participate in majors.
Yeah, because the bans were also are lifetime. Or
they are.
They're infinity.
Yeah.
They're longer than your lifetime.
Yeah. So this is obviously not good, right? Because obviously if you cheated on a one account when you were 12 and now you're, 20 and you're good at Counter-Strike, you spend your time and the problem is you won't be able to go to the majors, which is what everyone wants to go to. They want to qualify for a major. They want to place in a good place. They want to win the major. And they won't take that risk on you, because then they won't be able to participate in the major, or they will have to find a sixth player to take your spot for the major, etc., etc. This has caused the most notable player for this to happen to, a player named Jampi, a Finnish player who used to play for INS, which is a Finnish organization who's in Counter-Strike, and they have a Counter-Strike team. He actually moved over to Valorant, the new FPS by Riot Games.
Oh, right.
He moved over to Valorant because of this. But finally, what Valve did today is they updated that. So now you can play in the major, they've made it so the only way you don't play in the majors or in any Valve event is if you've received the VAC ban after playing one of the Valve events.
Oh.
Or if you've received it in the last 5 years.
Interesting.
So if you received it 6 years ago or more, you can now play in the Valve events. So that means that all these players, there's a couple notable ones. I can only think of 2 off the top of my head, but there's no reason to name them. But Jampi is one of them. They can now play Counter-Strike again, and they're able to participate in the Valve majors.
Do you think that Jambi will go back from Valorant back to Counter-Strike, or do you think he has a team in Valorant and everything, and there's no reason to go back?
He does have a team in Valorant. He's currently playing for Team Liquid, which is they're a big organization in the esports space. So yeah, I actually was kind of trying to see what he was thinking, because even in the video that he released of him leaving Counter-Strike and going to Valorant, I mean, he said that he likes Counter-Strike, but it's pretty much like indicated that he's being forced to switch because there's no future for him in Counter-Strike.
So this brings up kind of a related topic, but kind of also unrelated. So back in the day, there was this scandal with iBuyPower, and there was this young kid on the team. The scandal wasn't that they cheated. The scandal was that they threw the game for essentially money.
Match fix, yeah.
The kid was, how old was he? You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, you're talking about.
He changed his name since then.
You're talking about Braxton Pierce, who used to go by Swag.
Yes, Swag.
But now he goes by Brax.
Yeah. Because wasn't he under 18, I feel like? And I remember everybody saying about that was like, oh, he was a kid, and now you're giving him an infinity plus 1 year ban.
Well,
and then didn't he go to Valorant too? Is what I was
so yes,
relating.
he was underage. Let me make sure. He was underage at the time of the ban.
Yeah, I could have sworn he was 16 or 17.
And they are still banned.
Yes.
So Valve, they did kind of add a note at the end of their post, and they said that any other players that are currently banned that don't have anything to do with this are still banned. is what they
Oh,
wanted.
interesting.
So
Okay, interesting.
they did reaffirm that yes, pretty much these players are still banned, which I don't
Okay.
agree with. Um, I don't think match fixing should be a permanent ban. I don't think cheating should be a permanent ban. The punishments can be harsh, sure, they should be, right? But a professional player's career in esports is a lot shorter than a professional player in like traditional sports. Um, so I mean, it shouldn't be forever. Definitely shouldn't be that long. Um, yeah, I think there should be like written rules, written
Oh, so
guidelines
take out all the
for
subjectivity
this. Yeah, take out all of
in the
Valve's
punishments.
hand
Yeah.
of like they can do. The Valve does whatever they want in terms
Yeah.
of that. I think
Yeah.
that should be kind of looked at. But uh, anyways, like I think that's. I mean, that's it for the Valve stuff, though. It is
Okay.
ultimately it is good that they did this. Because I think that again, I don't think cheaters, even cheaters now, even I mean maybe harsher. I would say like the kids don't deserve to be banned forever if they cheated when they were a kid. It's like a no brainer, right? That these people weren't playing professionally. But even then, even professional players, even players that were playing professionally, they should not be banned forever as well. I think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up here for this time. And next time, you can look forward to hearing about our first dose of the vaccine stories.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. Thank you for listening. Once again, you can email us at luckinfosers@gmail.com or tweet at us at luckinfosers.
Yep.
And hope to hear from you soon. All right.
All
Thanks
right.
for listening.
Thanks, everyone.